like strength versus strength.
Yeah, it's really why you play the game. I mean, it's this conference and everything about it is just the battles and the both sides of the footballs, particularly both offensive line, defensive line. And it's just something that you work all off season, and to have opportunities like this is one you relish, one you look forward to, and then that's why you're playing this game, is to have a tremendous challenge that we do, and a respect for an opponent that has accomplished and have been able to do what they've done. And this is where guys really have to step up and play in a manner which this game, like I said, it's every game every week is of the utmost, and this one's even more because it's a conference game and obviously the importance of who we're playing with. So you got to love this kind of battle.
What kind of attitude are you seeing from your linemen as they kind of go up against this test? Do you sense a difference in this week?
You know what? That question has been asked to me. I think this group is a very mature group, obviously experienced and very businesslike. And you know what? I told them, I said, there shouldn't be any difference from week one to this week in terms of anything that's different, because in that way I said that you were not practicing or approaching the right manner. They've just been on a steady focus and a mindset which has been healthy and good. Now as we get closer to the time of kickoff, that's going to be accelerated that much more, but I just like the manner in which, like I say, it's been very businesslike and very serious.
When you look at Florida, is it just man-on-man straight up, or is it a lot of games? They play a lot of games. I mean, what makes them good up front?
They do some things. They'll mix up looks. They can stress you with different things, with the moving of the front from the even front to giving some different other looks, twisting, and then of course tremendous get off. I mean, they're extremely quick up front. They got a solid linebacking core that is extremely active. They tackle well, and again, it's just off of like it was last week. You can't be wrong on a step. You can't be wrong on a landmark, and you sure in heck better be straining beyond the whistle to be able to maintain or be able to sustain a drive.
What's your assessment of your group 3 games in? What do you mean? A lot of people wonder.
Not as consistent as we need to be, and still a lot of room to grow. I think the one area that we improved some on last week was communication, and it's going to be at the utmost playing on the road in a hostile environment this coming week. But we still need to improve our overall strain and physicality consistently. There's flashes of it here and there, but it's not as consistent as it needs to be. And until all 5 are playing at that level for a longer period of time, we won't ever reach what we're setting out to do. So, that's something that's constantly reminded to them, and they're responding to that, and their approach has been really good.
Last week, just in terms of their performance last week, I know a lot of rushing yards, but a lot of them came late in the game. How do you think about the way they performed?
Again, the thing about Oregon was, number one, a very, very solid and sound defensive football team and what they do. They do not allow you, nor have they allowed in all the film that we've watched where there's been big opportunities for big plays. So we weren't as good as we needed to be running the football. However, we didn't have a number of lost yardage plays. And that, in itself is a little something to build on, but we knew going in. I said, guys, you know what? We're going to be tested mentally in this game, because if you think we're going to get some big chunk yardage plays, it's not happening. Because again, I watched enough film on them to know of all the opponents they played, the structure of their defense makes it difficult to have big plays. So we didn't have that. So we were battled mentally that, hey, 3-yard gain, a 2nd and 7, let's get to where we're 3rd and manageable. Unfortunately, there were some times where we were 2nd and 9, 3rd and 9, and that's when we were fighting uphill a little bit.
For the layman, somebody like me, how different is the approach in last week's defensive front by Oregon and this week by Florida?
There's a speed factor. There's a different body type, and by no means, with that being said, am I taking anything away from Oregon. It's just different body types. The structure of Oregon's defense with their 2 tackle ends are 6'6", stout, long, great as far as initial get off and extension, and in terms of getting off and forcing you to sustain a block longer. These guys are quick, mobile, moving the front, having to redirect, having to get second step down, having to have great eye discipline to be able to climb the linebackers, and all those things. So it's different in that way, so we go up against our guys quite a bit in terms of just a little bit in terms of the front similarity. Last week's front was a little bit of a different animal for us, which took a little while, but this one again, this is you can't be wrong on we got to have all five on the same page to have success against this defense.
Don, I talked to
Two
Jamal
more.
Monday before they had watched film with you of the Oregon's game. What did you take from that game, and what did you tell them when you guys reviewed?
We need to be cleaner on protection. There were a few things that happened during the game that I wasn't happy with in terms of exactly what happened on a couple of the pass plays where we need to make sure we're allowing our quarterback to feel comfortable seeing things in the pocket. Our communication was better. There's things again with our eye discipline having to be better in terms of second level. But even with not accomplishing what we were setting out to do, there were some things that we could build on. And, that's the approach. There's a lot of football left to be played, and it's a process. We're going through a process. And now what's really the best thing for us moving forward is find out exactly where we are. And I like the approach. I like the maturity of our group. And I like the fact that they've been very business-like this week. There hasn't been, by any one of them, where guys are hanging their head down. It's taken a while to get them out of this funk that they're in from last week. Let's get back to it. So,
You think they understand that, I know they didn't have any negative yardage plays, but maybe they didn't play up to their own standards and to your standards last week, and they maybe responded this week